You're welcome to the English class. Good evening, everybody. You're welcome to the English class. So today we'll be taking a bit of revision on some of the topics that we had taught in the course of these tutorial classes that we had. So I decided to use this particular platform so that we can have a look at what the style of the JAMB question looks like, so that by the time you get into your exam hall, it will not seem like it is something new to you. The need for us to know how the style works is very important. So let's not waste time. Let's hit the ground. Now, so here what we want to do is that we want to try to check if we can still apply some of the rules of synonyms and antonyms or whatever question that will be coming across to us, so that we can know how to pick our answers correctly. So this question says, the witness averred that he had seen just soon at scene of the crime. The witness averred that he had seen just soon at the scene of the crime. Now we're looking for a word that is opposite to averred. We're looking for a word that is opposite to averred. So it means we may need to look up the word, the meaning of averred, and from there we'll try to pick what is our correct answer. If we go by the answer that we have here, the answer here is C, and that is denied. So if denied is our answer there, it may mean that the witness affirmed or confirmed that he had seen the Josun at the scene of the crime. So what you have there, if you look at your option very well, you see that they had unarguably added the similarities or the synonym of the word that we have as part of your options. And from there, you are opportune to pick your options so as to get which is similar and which is not similar to it. So that is the answer to the first one. So the witness averred that he had seen the son at the scene of the crime. So the opposite of averred is denied. Let's move on from there. All right, we're still looking at the opposite in meaning. The high cost of living these days calls for a lot of frugality. The high cost of living these days calls for a lot of frugality. Now, what is the meaning of frugality? Now, frugality means that you are spending less, you are being prudent, you are trying to save. Now, the opposite of this word from what we have as our option is extravagance. Extravagance. So your answer will be the high cost of living these days calls for a lot of extravagance. So the opposite of frugality is extravagance. Thank you. Now, next one says, Tunde's reaction underscores the point I was making. Tunde's reaction underscores the point I was making. So we are looking for the opposite of underscore. The opposite of underscore. So if you look up the word underscore and you get a meaning to it, it will tell you what you are to pick as your answer. So if we go by the answer that we have here, our answer here is D. And so contradicts is the opposite of it. So we may want to say that today's reaction justifies the point I was making. So the synonym to underscore is justifies, or we may say it emphasizes. So, but the opposite of it is that it contradicts. So if you use the word underscore, the opposite of the word underscore is contradicts. So please, when you have such words, try as much as possible to get their synonyms and you get their antonyms. Now, another one is, everyone admired the manager's adroit handling of the crisis in their company. Now, just as I said, you need to look up the meaning of the word adroit, and from there you can find a way to get through to this. So when you look up the meaning of adroit and then you are able to get your answer, you would be able to know, okay, that this fine is what this means and this is how it is used. So you pay attention to it and then you should say that this is how it works, and from there you can pick your answer. So if you go by the answer that we have here, let's check for confirmation. Our answer here is B. So tactless. Tactless. So it means the manager, everyone admired the manager's tactless handling. That is, the person could not handle it very well. So now, adroit would mean that someone that is skillful or clever. So if you call someone an adroit listener, it means the person is a skillful or a clever listener. So you pay attention to that. So for the new words that you have been exposed to, try as much as possible to look up their synonyms and their antonyms, such that when you have them used in sentences, you're able to say, okay, fine, this is what the answer will be if you have several options that you have to work with. So the next question says, the principal took exception to the ignoble role the teacher played in the matter. Now, looking up the meaning of the word ignoble, it means something that lacks nobility, something that lacks gentleness, something that lacks careful or charismatic responses to it. So now, if you now say something lacks nobility or it lacks gentleness or it lacks charisma, what do you think will be the opposite of it? Is it dishonorable? Is it extraordinary? Is it honorable or embarrassing? Now, from the meaning of the word, you should have gotten what the opposite will be. So let's confirm from our answer. Our answer is B. So honorable. So you can say the word ignoble means embarrassing or dishonorable. Embarrassing or dishonorable. So the opposite of the word ignoble is honorable. So let's pay attention to that. Now another one we have here is notorious for his drunkenness. Is notorious for his drunkenness. What does the word notorious mean? It means something that has to do with, let's say, chaos. You could say something that has to do with out of order, or something that has to do with maybe pain, or something that has to do with fright. You say someone is notorious, the person may be feared by everybody. So now, if you're not going to pick, an option for this, so the person may be frightening. The person may be, a notorious person may also be popular. The notorious person may also be popular, but we are talking about the attitude of the person. So if you look at the opposite of what we have here, what our answer will be something that is contradicting the word notorious. So if you look at it, something that has to do with fright, something that has to do with chaos, something that has to do with ungentleness, something that has to do with problems. So let's confirm from our answer here what our answer should be. Answer is B. Answer is so the next one that we have on board is this. The chairman's conduct redounds to the image of the company. The chairman's conduct redounds to the image of the company. Now, you could say the word redound means to contribute, to have an effect, or to have a recourse on something. So if that is the meaning of the word, what will be the opposite? So if something does not contribute, or it does not reflect, or it does not have an effect on something, it means it will stay off it. So from the options that we have, you should have been able to pick your answer by the meaning of the word redound. So let's check the answer we are given to know if the answer you have in your mind is correct or not. So the answer here is D, distract from. Now, just as I said that the meaning of redound is to assist, to contribute, or to have effect on it. So let's proceed with our questions. Okay. A phlegmatic temperament endears to our friends. A phlegmatic temperament endears to our friends. Now, the word phlegmatic means something that shows little emotion, something that's something that lacks that empathy, something that lacks empathy, something that lacks being concerned about a thing that has happened. So now, if you have to look for the opposites of it, so that option that you're picking in your mind, all you need to do is, since you have known the meaning of the word that we are trying to focus on, the meaning of the word should tell you what the opposite would mean from the options we are given. So let's check for the answer to know if that answer you picked in your mind is as correct as it should be. C. So lively. The answer here is lively. If someone shows concern, someone shows emotion, someone shows empathy with you, it means the person is lively with you. So, but the opposite of that is, so the opposite of being lively or coming alive or doing something enthusiastically, it means it is phlegmatic. So please pay attention to that. The workers suddenly became resty. The workers suddenly became resty. Now, what does it mean to be resting or to be in a state, in a restive state? Now, being in a restive state may mean in a tense or impatient situation. In a tense or in an impatient situation. So now, knowing the meaning, what do you think will be the response? If something is in a tense situation or impatient, what do you think will be the answer to that option? So let's confirm if that option you have picked in your mind is correct. Let's check. Answer here is D, calm. So it means if something is not impatient, it means that thing is calm. If you find yourself in a tense situation, it means things are not going as planned. It's in a state of chaos. It's in a state of disorderliness. It's a state of fidgeting. So, but if that is not happening, the opposite of those words is to be calm or coordinated. So that our answer is D, is calm. Let's move on from there. Now, the governor's visit is an unprecedented event. The governor's visit is an unprecedented event. An unprecedented event in the history of the social club. Now, what does it mean? Now, sorry, what does the word unprecedented mean? Now, the word unprecedented is the opposite of the word precedented. And the word precedented means to have support or to be justified by something in time or something in focus. So if you say the governor's visit is an unprecedented event, that it may mean that it was not planned, or it was not set in motion to have happened. So now, if you're now saying that, okay, fine, it is not, it may mean that it is not necessary or it is not needed. So from what we have there, from the way we have discussed the word or the way I've explained it, you should be able to pick your answer from there. So that answer that you have in your mind, keep it, and let's confirm if what we have as our answer will actually match what you have in you. C is not significant. Is not significant. So it means that the coming of that is not needed, is not needed. Okay. The athlete has unexpectedly become indomitable. The athlete has unexpectedly become indomitable. Now, the word indomitable may mean impossible to win. It may mean impossible to subdue. It may mean impossible to curtail or to control. So the basic thing is that the word indomitable now, you know, the Cameroon football team, they will call themselves indomitable lions. That is, they are trying to relate themselves to a lion that can be caught. So now, what is the opposite of something that cannot be subdued or cannot be caught or cannot be taken down? It will mean a very strong thing. It may be something that is very powerful from several synonyms that it could have. So let us check from the answer that we have here to know if what you have in your mind matches the same thing with it. The answer here is A. The athletes has unexpectedly become weak. So that's to tell you that the way indomitable is used here, they may be using it as strength. So we can also say the athlete has unexpectedly become strong. And then the opposite of strong is weak. So let's proceed. Now, the evidence the leader gave was incontrovertible. The evidence that the leader gave is incontrovertible. So what does the word incontrovertible means? From the sentence, it may mean that the word incontrovertible means something that cannot be denied, something that cannot be disproved, something that does not really have a positive response to truth. So if you say something is incontrovertible, it means it cannot be denied. It's like it's a fact. It is an approved statement or something that has proofs that are said with it. It could also have something that has an irrefutable essence in it. So now, if you say that something cannot be denied or cannot be disproved, what do you think would be the opposite of it? So from the answer that you have in your mind, let's check if the answer that we are giving here matches the one you have in your mind. Our answer here is B, and that is contestable. So it means the opposite of incontrovertible is contestable. That is, what you're saying is that if that incontrovertible means not contestable, the opposite is contestable. So let's move on from there. Let's answer like 5 questions more, and then we call it a day tonight. Okay. He gave an unsatisfactory excuse, but the boss swallowed it hook, line, and sinker. He gave an unsatisfactory excuse, but the boss swallowed it hook, line, and sinker. Now, this is an idiom used. Now, the idiom means to believe something completely, to take in something completely. To believe it completely or to take in something completely. Now, if you are now saying that the word means completely, what would be the opposite of it? So let's check our answer to know if the option you have in your mind or the option you have picked in your mind has the same answer as we have been given here. Our answer is A. So it means the idiom with a pinch of salt means that something that is not taken completely or something that is not completely believed. So why hook, line, and sinker means taking in something or believing something completely, with a pinch of salt means believing something in an incomplete manner, or you believe in something incompletely. So let's move on from there. Okay, the hardline posture. The hardline posture of the labor leader has not helped matters. The hardline posture of the labor leader has not helped matters. Now, the word hardline means firm, uncompromising. If you say someone is a hardline leader, it means that person does not change his decisions. The person's decision cannot be influenced easily. So if you now have the word and you're asked to get the opposite from your options that you are presented with, which one do you think is the answer? I have told you hardline means firm, uncompromising, or something that cannot be changed easily, something that cannot be influenced. So let us check if the answer we have here actually matches the one that you have in mind. Our answer is A, and that is compromising. So it means the meaning of hardline, as said earlier, is uncompromising. Okay, so that is where we'll stop for today, so that the next class we'll be able to look at another aspect entirely. So before I leave, is there any question from anybody concerning some of the questions we have treated today, or maybe on those things that we have discussed before now that you want maybe clarifications on, or you want clarity on them. I am waiting for our questions. Is there anybody with any question? If you have any question, please raise your hand, ask your question so that we can put answers to them. Okay, if there is no question at all, just as I will always say, for whatever you've been taught, please apply them in your daily activities. Try as much as possible to use some of these words that you have seen today, use them in sentences, get their meanings, get synonyms to them. For each of the synonymous words, get antonyms. This will build your vocabulary, and it increases your words as you have them. So please do not let this thing just sit here as we have discussed them. Put them in your words, use them in conversations. When you make mistakes using them, go back to the dictionary, look up their meaning, and use them correctly. As you do that, it becomes part of you. Now, I want you to know that consistent practices is what brings perfection. So practice consistently, practice always. Put these things into use, and before you know it, you have the native speaker's tongue. So thank you very much for your, have a wonderful day to yourself.